Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alex Harshman here, Wholesale to Freedom. And as you guys know, sometimes I do these videos in my car because it's a great place for me to think and just kind of explain some stuff. So without further ado, this channel is all about wholesaling real estate, entrepreneurship, and business related items and topics. So any questions you guys have, put them in the comments section below. I'll be happy to do a video on them and answer any questions. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe down below, click that notification bell. That way you get notified of all my future videos. And let's get right into the wholesaling update that we got going on here. So last update, we kind of had some deals, 3 deals that we didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Still got those 3 deals under contract. Still trying to find some VAs, some good VAs to hire, and still trying to get a system in place for when I hire these VAs. So a lot of times, when we, especially us action takers, when we go and do the next step or perform an action or do something, we don't typically find out all the details, the in-between knowledge beforehand. We just kind of take action, and that's one of our biggest strengths, right? Anybody who's super successful can say the same thing. It takes a lot to just take action without knowing fully how to do something. And I think that's a good thing, right? It's not a bad thing, but there's some things that you have that come along with that. You kind of have to monitor and assess yourself constantly and say, hey, we went from A to Z, but what about B, C, D, E, and F, etc. And we got to figure out what things we're missing, what systems that we need to have in place. And it's like a clock. You have gears that work the clock, and you got to figure out if you're missing any gears or any cogs, anything like that. So that's exactly where I'm at in my business right now. I was hiring VAs, but I maybe just didn't have the right system to train them, or maybe I just didn't give them I didn't give them a standard operating procedures, SOPs. So for those who, I'm learning, this whole past month I've learned a ton about hiring and just managing employees. And it's something that I thought you could willy-nilly do, and the employees would just perform really well compared to what you want them to do. And it just doesn't happen like that, unfortunately. If you want to run a business like a business, you have to treat it like a business, even as a solopreneur. And I learned so much, and so I got my standard operating procedures in the works. I'm documenting every step of the way, so that way they can be trained on every step of the way. And it's just a lot of great things happening right now. It might not be great for bringing in leads because I've had to pause a lot of things, but it's great for the future of the business because I'm building that base. And I talked about in my last video, or one of my videos, that building it's like a house of cards. Your business is a house of cards, right? And if you don't build a strong base, your house of cards is just going to fall down, and everything you work for is going to be diminished. And you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, and going to be constantly going through this cycle of where you're advertising for leads, but then you can't handle it because you're so bogged down with running the business. So you got to pause your leads, and then you got to start, and you're going to stop, and then you can never get this pipeline just fully engaging, as far as bringing in leads for your business and somebody to filter those leads, right? So you're really limiting yourself by working by yourself, unless you're fine with making 1 to 2 deals possibly a month, but just like anything else, growth is key. So I finally, like I said, built that house of cards, that base, and I'm thinking about hiring 2 VAs. I've never done this at the same time. I've only hired 1, and I think I'm going to hire 2 VAs. Both of them cold calling, just cranking out calls. I got over 20,000 leads that I need to have called. And it's just the skip trace list. Or should I say it's the skip trace list of 20,000 people. I shouldn't say 20,000 leads, but I got a lot of leads. I downloaded Call Tools. Call Tools is so much better than Mojo, in my opinion. I can listen to the phone calls while they're live. I can even whisper in my agent's ear so that the seller doesn't hear it. I can give them some advice while they're on the phone. And it's just a super powerful tool, and I just can't believe I've never even looked into it before. But Call Tools. And so at with deals. I still got those same three under contract. I actually think one of them is going to fall through because the repairs are too great and I can't find a buyer for subject to because the mortgage is too high. And I have another property where it just needed to go through succession, which means it's like probate, so they needed to go through probate process. And then the other one, they were, the price that I had, it was too high. I was getting like offers $20,000 lower than my asking. I even listed the contract on the market to bring a retail buyer, and I finally brought somebody who's willing to pay me 10 grand less than what I was asking. So I had to go back and renegotiate the seller to make that deal work for everybody. And I'm gonna post a video on that as soon as this deal closes. But man, it's such a powerful video. I had to renegotiate, get her on board with taking a less amount and allowing me to list it on the market, and even allowing us to have a retail buyer who's going to use financing. So man, I'm so excited for this call. You guys are going to be like blown away at us being able to work this thing out. So when I say us, it pretty much me, but I want to include you guys in this feeling, this sensation of like, wow, holy crap, he was able to do that, and you guys can too. So that's the 3 deals I have. I think the third one I just talked about is going to work out really well. I might make like 5 to 10 grand from it, but the experience of just going back and renegotiating and seeing how it works and seeing how I can get the seller on board and just like the possibilities for future deals is so much more powerful and more important. And I'll be able to just relay that to you guys once we close. So that's the deals right now for advertising. What I'm doing for advertising is I really took a step back. Lead Sherpa is very expensive. It's $400 for me a month, and that's just giving me 5,000 leads per month. I can do 10,000 leads for $600 a month, but that's because I have 2 markets. So instead of using Lead Sherpa, I'm just going to go strictly cold calling, because even my mentor's taking a step back from marketing. He's still doing Lead Sherpa, but I really just took a dive deep in my business, and I'm going to just maybe 1 to 2 avenues of marketing. So I'm doing driving for dollars and cold calling, which I use Deal Machine for the cold calling. Deal Machine, a big update. If you guys haven't seen it already, click up here for my driving for dollars video virtually. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And it's super targeted, and they even have their own, you can pull lists from it now. So just like PropStream, Deal Machine, you can pull lists. They're trying to compete with these other people, and I think it's awesome because they're constantly improving their system. It's extremely worth it. And what I would recommend, guys, is if you haven't already and you want to download the Deal Machine app and use the promo code WTF for Wholesale to Freedom, WTF promo code, or you can click the link down in my description. You guys will get $15 free, which is equal to 15 deal credits. So if you do skip tracing, it's like 15 cents a skip trace or 17 cents or something. So that's a lot of skip trace. That's almost 100 skip trace. And you can use that. That's over 100 skip trace, right? No, I can't do math. So you can do a lot of skip tracing, and you can do 15 postcards as well. So lot of value with Deal Machine. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm having my VAs virtually drive for dollars. They'll skip trace it, and then they'll cold call that list. So I'm super excited to see how this goes. I added like 100 properties in 1 hour, and all I do is go on Google Maps and again click on that video I mentioned earlier. I show you step by step how to do that. So good stuff. That's what my marketing is going to be. My goals for this till the next video is to get a VA, at least one, cranking out some calls, filtering leads, and then start working on dispositions and a system, documenting my business, a system for that, so that way I can scale up once I get this filter call position taken care of, so I can hire out the purchase manager. Because my goal is setting myself outside the company as much as possible, because I heard this, and it's brutally honest. I heard this in a webcast or a web class I attended for training. It was a free web class, and they dropped a ton of knowledge. Guys at Investor Fuse dropped it for free. Super thankful for them. If you haven't checked them out, I got a link in the description down below for that. It's a CRM I use. They automate your business, taking care of a lot of the follow-up for you, so that way you don't have to continue to follow up. They got all the systems in place, so you don't have to do any thinking. And I got a free half setup fee on there, which I think is a savings like over $300 or something. It's a lot of savings. So check that out. But yeah, they had a hiring workshop. They talked about how if you're running your business and you're taking the calls and you're selling the deals and you're doing the transaction coordinating, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a dealer at that point, right? You're dealing contracts. So the fact that he said that, and he made me realize, like, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm actually just an employee within my business. That kind of made me like shift my mind. I was like, fuck, dude, I don't want to work in my business. You know, I don't want to be an employee. I want to treat this like a business. So those were just some truth words that I needed to hear, and I wanted to share that with you guys because maybe some of y'all need to hear that as well. And it's a brutal awakening. So systems in place. Got a lot of follow-up leads, man. I want to talk about some of the failures I've had. The successes, I shared some of those with you, but the failures, I've had a lot of people accept my price, and then I go to send them a contract. Even if I get the commitment that says, hey, you're going to sign this once I send it, right? They say yes, and I send it, and then they don't sign because of external influences, right? So one person they accepted the price. I sent it for them to sign. I call them back and they said, well, I already accepted a higher offer. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, dude, seriously? I could have maybe made something work. Like, there was nothing even hinting that he was getting a higher offer. Then the next one was a probate lead. I sent him a postcard and they called me back and the price was going to work. It was a $35,000 deal. So I might even go back and try to get a higher price, see if I can't work something out. But they said they were unsure about the business because my address came up as a house address, which it's not, by the way. So you'll have some sellers come up with some crazy stuff. And I mean, I'm very convincing. I'm very good at getting people to trust the company, trust me. Rightfully so, because they want to know if it's a scam or not. And I let them know, you know, I reassure them that it's not, and I show them how we go through the title company, and I explain it to them, and I'm not overwhelming them, and I simplify it and I make it so that like a third grader can understand it. And just sometimes, guys, even when you say all the right things, you do all the right things, it just does not work out. And that's just a part of business, it's a part of life, right? And so even though I want to sit there and beat myself up like, man, I got all these potential deals right now, coronavirus, everything, it's just like, it sucks. And sometimes you want to just give up, right? You want to just freaking say, screw it, maybe I'm doing something wrong. You want to dump a ton of money into mentors and things that just are not going to help you out, right? I'm not saying mentors don't help you out. If you haven't already checked out the video about do you need a mentor, I think they're great. My mentor is phenomenal and 10x my business easily. But you know, whenever you're in desperation, you tend to go to whoever sounds the most educated or whoever can sell you the most on their course. So whenever we do these things where we feel like our back is against the wall, we really just got to hang on for dear life, right? Whenever I did public speaking for the first time, somebody had told me, whenever you need to do public speaking and you're scared, just hang on to that podium for dear life and just stay along for the ride. And so when I did my public speaking for the first time, that's exactly what I did. I gripped the hell out of that podium and I did my speech. And that's the same thing in life and in business. You got to grip yourself in your business and just hold on, right? Do everything you can to stay alive and hold on. And even if you fall down flat on your face, you lose all your money, nobody's going to come to your house with a shotgun and say, hey, you need to give me everything you own. You're gonna die right now. You know, our brains kind of get us to think that. We still have the knowledge to go out and make money, so it's not the end of the world. So that's my wholesale update for now. I want to open it up for any questions again down below. Put them in the comments section. I'd love to help you guys out. And as always, we'll see you all in the next one.